if you have an electrical contractor out and they are telling you you need to replace your panel and you feel unsure about what they're telling you, give us a call. So I had a customer here who called us out because a local company in town, very reputable company, told him that he needs a breaker panel replacement. This panel is 22 years old, and I came in here, went to go open up the cover, could not get the cover physically off because of this being in. So I had to remove that by prying it out, using a knife to cut that out. And I tested every single breaker because he had one room in his home that was not working. And I found that this arc fault breaker was tripped. Turn it back on, everything's fine. So I'm gonna replace this breaker just to make sure that it's not the breaker itself, so they don't have an extra service call for no reason, and then they're good. This panel doesn't have any rust. There's no signs of corrosion on the breaker bars. So it's one of those things that I'm not the type of person to say your panel is 20 years old, you need to replace it. You know, when it starts to get over 40 years old, you can start to educate and say, like, yes, the breakers have internal grease inside of them that you know, eventually does wear out. But if I'm not seeing any signs of like water damage or anything like that, I'm generally not going to be like, you need to replace your panel because it's 25 years old. I think that's a ridiculous way to do things. And it's something that, you know, it's really about the condition of the panel, in my opinion. I look at that, and that's how I base my recommendations off of that. I am not the cheapest contractor in town, but I'm honest. I'm going to tell you what I find and give you my 2 cents based on my 25 years of experience. So be careful out there, because you don't know, if you don't know who to trust, then you might be getting one pulled over you. So take care.